Real quick, I'll go hit a couple here just to talk about the last one real quick before we go to questions. Again, of course, extremely poor performance against North Texas. A few things to me, us that stick out. Staff and turf players are run-o, still inefficient, run defense, getting off blocks, supporting it with safety. We had some of our safeties are making a lot of tackles that on paper look good to you, but they also led the team in missed tackles. So the defense is set up where those linebackers and safeties can show up and make plays. So statistically, some of those numbers like, hey, here's a leading tackler looking good. There's still the opportunity to make a few more plays. So we want to keep getting good play out of the backer and safety position because our run defense has got to pick up. Our run offense will look schematically, but as much as anything, we've got to create some speed and some force, just some attitude coming off the ball, and running backs getting behind their pads and quit trying to be so cute and fancy. And, of course, we'll get a stout defense this week in Penn State, and we'll talk about those guys. But we got to get behind our pads and play better run-O, run-D. Turnovers in score zone got us again. We get there in the first half on the 20. We get a fumble. For the year, we got 7 touchdowns out of 13 chances in the scoring zone inside the 20, and you want to click at about 70, 75, 80%. We're barely 50 as far as scoring touchdowns, and we're losing games where you're losing games by 3 and 7 points. You'll continue to be in some close games as we get in the Big Ten play, and we're not going to win games when we're moving the ball. You know, a stat we always did was yards per touchdown. I think we had over 400 yards the other night, bulk of it, of course, in the fourth quarter. But we had 2 offensive touchdowns. So that means for every 200 yards, you get 7 points. And you'd like to get that number in the 70, 80, 90 range. We're actually pretty good, I think, in the conference in first downs, which means we move the ball. But you don't get points for moving the ball. You get points for crossing that line with the G and getting in the end zone. So we got to work on that. +2 in turnover ratio, which is nice. Had the ball on the ground several times that we still could get. It's happened twice, and we're trying to teach our guys how to play hard. Guy signals for a fair catch. That doesn't mean the play's over. It just means you can't hit him. But we break that. We don't get in the breakdown position. The ball hits a guy, and then we're a little late reacting and not getting on the fumble. Happened at Virginia. Happened the other night. We talked about it once, hadn't got that corrected. But we are +2 in turnover ratio. It is unusual to be plus in your turnover ratio in your 3 losses. We have an even game, and 2 games we win the turnover ratio, and yet we lose. Typically, you're going to win those games. So we'll keep bringing that to the fold because that's going to help us down the stretch. Our fourth quarter finishes are nice, but our lack of play in the first, second, and third quarter, both O and D, is alarming to me. So you sit there and look at it as a conditioning level. Well, why are you playing good at the end of the game? You know, so again, I know our guys have worked hard, know we're capable, but it's taken us way too long to hit our stride. Special team play's been good. Ewald did miss a field goal. It was in the win 49, but his first kick with their great returner, we kicked it to him, was out of the end zone. No opportunity. Did a great job on a couple of the onside kicks. Got one, gave us a chance on the other. And we actually drew up the third one. It never practiced. Said, try this on a bloop the other way, and gave us a chance. Another guy I want to point out, I think he's doing good for us, is all the young freshmen, is Matt Dooley. I don't know if you saw anything in spring, and you guys are limited, but we really didn't have a snapper on campus. And he's came in, and for a 4-game fold, we had guys that snapped, but they weren't snappers in spring. It was not very good. It was almost something you didn't want to practice. And Matt Dooley, we have another guy, Zach Young, both those kids. Those are 2 nice ads, so Matt's doing well. Some cats that played well for us in that game. Mark Murphy had a nice game. Young guy, he's playing out of position as a safety playing backer, but he's battling. He's one of our toughest guys on our defense. Dalton McMetzer came in and created a little havoc, didn't have a bunch of plays, only 21, but did well. Chase Hubler, same deal at backer, didn't have a lot of plays, but when he got in, played well, but only 3 guys there. Offensively, Dusty came in, did nice for us in the fourth quarter. Of course, they busted a couple coverages and helped us, but he was fortunate to take care of it. Keep bringing him along with Ed. I thought Chris Chester was playing last night for the Redskins. Jamon Chester did a nice job coming in for us there with 8 or 9 catches. And again, a guy I've been saying all along that we should be getting more out of. When I'm talking guys I think should be producing more, he's been one. It's nice that wasn't surprised he did well. I'd like to see him practice better because he's capable of helping us. And Cody, for a young guy, Dre Muhammad stepped in, did well. So again, that's kind of a recap of North Texas. A couple things moving forward. Again, I don't like to talk a lot about, but we keep bringing it up. So bring some closure with some things roster-wise, injury-wise. Again, Hager's out for the year with the knee. End of his career. He will not pursue a medical, and will go ahead and graduate. Nick Freeland gets operated. Our kicker, who was going to be our long guy or kickoff guy, his ACL thing where he got just in a breakdown deal, got a knee several weeks ago. He has a surgery this week. Leon Beckham is in the process of getting back, but not practicing, so we're still probably a couple, 3-4 weeks out before we know we've got Leon. I don't know if we'll get him during the month of October. We'll see as we get 2 and 3, 4 weeks out. Last week, DeMarlo had a bone bruise and didn't practice Wednesday, Thursday. Didn't travel. Deweese Wilson, Kofi Hughes are fighting some nagging gigs where they're limited in practice. They're both still limited yesterday. Very little work as those guys worked yesterday. So we'll hopefully get those guys back. I would expect DeMarlo looked like he had a chance Monday. The other 2 guys looked gimpy. So we'll see how that plays out. Love to get them in the mix, but we still are fortunate receiver with the young guys and Chris Chester, Dre Muhammad. We can throw 4 or 5 out there. Roster-wise, you guys have asked about Willis. Again, I've been told he has an injury where he can't play, and it's possibly going to be declared a medical hardship, but that's the Big Ten that approves that. We're in the process of putting that into place, so his career is basically over. Chris Bush last week did, after talking with his parents, family, decided not to play. And the guy got mentioned after the game, I think, to Dustin. I mean, we got a lot of respect for him, what he's done, number one, serving our country, which is highly unusual, and very few, if anyone in this room, has done that. But then to come back as an old person, when I say old, 24, 5, 6-year-old guy trying to play football, I mean, he's made some great sacrifices. So wanted him to stay, gave him opportunities to work through it, wanted to work through it, but he just felt where he was in his life, he wanted to go on and just get his education. And during preseason, we didn't talk about Tim O'Connor and Xavier Whitaker came in and said they didn't want to play football anymore, so they're not on scholarship and not on the team. So that's with that. And last thing before we take questions this week, we are doing October's breast cancer deal, or not Cancer Awareness Month, and we're doing a big deal for that. We'll have some things that we do in our prayer. We talked to our team about it yesterday. Most of us will be touched by it. I know I lost my mother. Most everybody's going to be touched by it. Either you have been or you're going to be, whether it be personally you or a sibling or a wife-to-be or a parent or relative or grandparents we go through. So it hits so much of us. So that being said, we're not doing it to raise money, but just as we fight our fight through the season, showing respect for a lot of families and people that are fighting their fight. And so we're not really doing it to raise funds or generate dollars, but to be supportive of October being the Cancer Awareness Month. So a little something with that. We'll have a few things that we'll do through the week and talking about it, and you'll see some things that we're doing, and hopefully it'll be done in a very respectful and classy ways to so many people within our community around the Big Ten region and whatnot. So what we got? Answered all? We're good? Again, better practice habits to lead to some game habits. We're playing some young guys who are learning how to play and playing through things, and we got some old guys I just think have some their urgency and attention to detail and practicing the way you need to play just is not there. And so we'll look this week as we go through practice here today and tomorrow, just as not necessarily shake our team up. My comment yesterday, we're talking about cancer awareness, breast awareness, cancer awareness, whatnot, and people fighting fights. Your football life's terminal. And my deal was, if you got 8, 9, 10 weeks of your football life left, how would you like each Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, into Saturday to be? How would you want to walk off that field every day? Your attitude, your experience, your joy, the way you play. And we've got to work hard. We're not a good enough football team, and no team is, that you can't work hard. Same time, we'll look to shake some things up in practice and the way we're doing things to not lose our kids physically, emotionally, mentally as we move. We got to keep building. We got to give ourselves a great opportunity to win Saturday, great opportunity to win each and every Saturday. We need these seniors to have a great experience down the stretch. So that being said, offensive line, we're playing some young guys. They got to keep battling, playing through it. Some of them lack a little size, girth, strength. That being said, we need to create some velocity and force coming off the ball because we're not going to overpower people with brute size and strength right now. Old guys, they need to get a loving feeling back in the way they're going about their business instead of going through the motions, because as they go through the motions, the young guy, by evaluation, is just as good as the old guy. I've got more value in playing the young guy, and that's not slamming the old guy. The old guy's got to earn his right. Like I say all the time, every team is led by the seniors, and right now we're being led in a way that's got us a little bit where we are. I'm challenging those guys, not pointing fingers. Let's lead this team strong down the stretch and make these last 8, 9, 10 weeks of your football life getting ourselves in position to be a bowl team. Everything we want is still in front of us, and we can accomplish things that haven't been accomplished here in quite a while. So even though we're struggled and don't have the results we want, there's a lot of things to play for. Do we have the fiber, the wherewithal, the passion? Will our seniors go after it? So we reached out to those guys, had a quick meeting with those guys yesterday, reached out to those guys in a positive way. Look forward to having a great practice for Monday. Look forward to this week and how we go through playing Penn State. Playing high, not moving your feet, not finishing the play, not playing with pad level, not coming off and striking, catching, absorbing. Basically a lot of things that are bad. Every play, we got beat at the line. We got punched in that low pass, got knocked back by a team that really had not been playing very, very good, but a team that played harder than us. And again, we talk about playing hard, playing physical. We talk about it. Actions speak louder than words. There's a way you practice it. Our young men have worked hard, but we need a physical presence and a toughness. And we will, and that's my balance right now. How do I keep practicing and developing toughness, same time physically and mentally not beating our football team up? But we got to make huge strides. And again, it's just breaking, again, some practice habits. The way, again, we were out there yesterday in shoulder pads. Today will be full pads. Tomorrow will be full pads. I think those are different practice styles, and I don't know if they're used to doing that. Maybe we're wearing some guys out, but to me, I don't think you get better hitting if you don't hit. And I think, again, you build that through the year, and we got a lot of building to keep doing. That's what we're going to keep doing short term. We'll do it today, building for Penn State.
For the older guys, they had a lot of close calls last year. First three of the first 4 games, they had some close calls. They didn't get that success. You worry about that kind of wearing out.
Well, again, we're going to, most games, if we play up to our capabilities, are going to be close games. So again, that being said, it's disappointing not to be getting turnover ratio and not getting it done. To me, it still comes back to what we're doing schematically and physically in the run game, running the ball, and what we're doing in score zone. We finally got a couple score zone stops the other night. We had not in the first games, and we are getting score zone stops. And to me, a score zone stop, the ball's on the 12-yard line, you kick a field goal. That's a stop. That's a defensive win. Now, if you're on the 28-yard line, kick a field goal, that's kind of good for you. You didn't quite get there. But when you get the ball in the score zone, and when you're moving the ball, getting first downs, and you got some yards, again, that's why we don't have goals to have so many yards per game. That's not a goal. We never want to have so many yards passing. That's not a goal. So many yards running. That's not a goal. We need balance. We need toughness. We don't want turnovers, and you need to score. And the opposite defensively. You got to stop the run, create the turnovers, and not let them in the end zone. That's what we're trying to play. We got to keep building it. Are we psychologically have issues with it? I don't know. If we did, I don't know why we keep coming. I think we're close because we keep kind of coming back fighting. So I don't think there's doubt. I don't think there's give up. I just think during the course of the game, we're not a mature enough, or strong enough, or good enough, or tough enough team that we're doing it for 60. We're doing it in spurts. Whether it be a early drive or 2 spurt, and then it goes dormant for a while. Then we come back and finish well, whatever. And so, thought Sept State, they had a couple of nights, our defense went a little dormant, but the offense did answer. The other night, the offense was not even on the field, it seemed like, until the end. Then they finally clicked at the end. The defense showed up and played a good second half. Maybe North Texas helped us. Maybe they let their guard down. Maybe they got vanilla. So to say the defense all of a sudden clicked, it was better. We're trying to build on that. No, again, I think it's, been playing pretty good as well. He's the only issue, he's had a couple times where he had an issue the night on an option pitch, which is live. He's had a couple fumbles. Dusty kind of came in at the same time. He's a little erratic and missed some throws, and we'll work through that in practice. And he's the guy through preseason that was been, he had a throw at Sept State where I don't know if you realized he hit a guy right in target. He was right, but he had the wrong color jersey. Hit him right between the numbers. So the reason he wasn't starting is he didn't take care of the ball. He was very lucky at Sept State, and that would have been a huge play in that game. Because if there wouldn't have been offsetting penalties, they'd have had the ball on the 5-yard line. So Dusty's a guy that needs to keep working a lot too. So what he was able to do that night, though, did a great job on the sideline. He's got some leadership skills. Did a great job when they busted coverage of recognizing, seeing it. We got lucky and had a right play up at the right time where they busted. He saw it, went to it, so he did great. But again, Dusty and Ed are both works in progress. They're both doing okay, but they both need significant improvement. They both need the players around them and a run game to take a lot of stress off of them in the offensive line.
You put an extra emphasis on energy, especially at the start of the game, when they came out kind of flat last week, and now it's a big standpoint.
Well, again, we've been talking about that all, from the first game. I didn't think we I had some emotions. So but again, that comes back to me, senior leadership, and against coaches, we'll keep trying to do it. But I think when a coach is doing it, after a while, it gets a little phony. Coaches can only do so much. Ultimately, a team is always ran by players, and every team is ran, and every team is led. It's either being led positively or negatively. So everybody says, you're looking for leadership. We've got leadership on our team. Maybe it's not the way you want it in the winning program, but every team is being led, and every team is being run in the locker room by players. And as coaches, we got meetings, but we got limitations. We got things we do on the field. But when it's coming from me as a coach, it doesn't carry as much as when players and leaders truly embrace and they're leading what's going on. We'll work to continue building that, and that's not pointing fingers at anyone. That's probably just kids getting used to us and all that deal. So we'll see as it goes forward. But again, our players need to create energy. I think our defense plays better with energy. We had a lot of energy as coaches in the locker room Saturday trying to get them going because I saw a group just sitting there. At least I do appreciate offense didn't click for a while, but we did come out and have some fire in the second half. They have to develop. I don't know. I mean, my thing here is we have to create our own energy, and it does start with coaches. And I've said it since the first day. So again, as coaches, like I'm telling our group right now, you are still the leader of your position. You are still the leader of the OD or the team. So you're the one that does have to create the energy. Don't expect anyone. You've got to set an example in your meeting room, on the practice field, in an attitude that, yes, it's coaching hard, yes, it's coaching tough, yes, it's coaching physical, but it's positive and it's energetic and it's uplifting because we need to lift our team up. Long way. I don't know. I mean, I got mandatory what I can say they have to do. But I saw great examples of great quarterbacks and the time they put on task. I know Mr. Fisher back there hits a lot of golf balls more than anyone else, and everybody talked, but he hits a bunch of balls. He doesn't have to. He doesn't have to. And there's reasons why, then he plays well. It's not, and there's some physical skill to it, but there's a commitment. And that's where, again, when you're balancing your academic load, your social life, when you play quarterback in the collegiate level, there's a lot of stress. There's a lot going on. Right now, those young men have so much going on, it's really hard to play quarterback because they're doing so much in communication. They're laboring to do things prior. Okay, now let's read the coverage. And what's my decision? They have a lot on their plate. The more you work, the less some of that comes off your plate because it becomes second nature. It becomes ingrained. But again, as a coach, I can't mandate anything. Just like a teacher can't tell you to study when they give you the material, but they're going to give you a test. Our test is on national TV, and it's in front of thousands of fans. But we take a test every Saturday. And if our guys show up to class, there's a way you perform. There's also a way you live your life. You eat, you rest. There's the confidence level in your mind. And at quarterback, there's a lot of time on task and film study. And again, I was very fortunate to be around some extremely good quarterbacks the last decade plus. And my quarterback at Northwestern, he was in our office when he wasn't in class all the time. Last week, I saw one of our guys watching TV in the player lounge. I guess that's okay, but he was 50 yards away from watching tape and seeing what coverage it was. What's their third down tendencies. And that's where, again, as coaches, I can't mandate things, but I try to point them out, try to point them on. This is the process of what you do to get it done. Well, and it's a tough deal, too, because, again, as coaches, again, I can't sit here and mandate things because the way it happened in our conference with the program, you can't have meetings and you can't do that. And so, again, and so, I mean, I can give them all the DVDs to take home and watch, but they can just sit right there. I mean, it's a personal commitment. It's a very, very demanding. It's one of the hardest jobs in sport. And he gets all the credit and all the blame, and everybody around him makes him look good or hurts him. But ultimately, he has a whole lot on his plate. And the more of those guys, and that's why you see so many great guys that go to the NFL take 3 and 4 and 5 years to really settle before they get in to how to play that game because of the speed and the schemes and the timing. And you see guys in time, and all of a sudden now you look at what Aaron Rodgers has become in time and those guys. And you see other guys that, it didn't quite click. I mean, it's a very, very, very difficult position. Same time, it is a better position when we help them. And when we've helped the position with run game, and the protection's been well, and the receivers to space routes, both those guys, Ed and Dusty, have played well. And Ed, through preseason, actually has played better than Dusty. Although Dusty did a tremendous job the other night, we're going to use that as a positive and keep creating competition between those two. Not going to have no controversy, but we're going to have some competition. And if I'm Ed Wright, I know there's a guy that plays pretty good right here with me, and he's very capable, and we'll go with him. And that's not a threat. That's just fact.
You keep talking about those two, but at some point you second guess your decision to turn Trey Overton's two freshmen?
I don't know. Again, to me, there's still a lot to go and play. We'll keep him coming. And again, I think my opinion for these guys is how I think the game is so much different. The way we work and train, had everybody here this summer, I think 5 years is a long time. I think along the way, too, you're seeing right now we've got a couple ACLs or glitches or injuries that could happen. You could get that, you're on the back end. So to sit here and save a guy, and we'll keep trying to keep the tough deal right there is just skill set. He's skilled enough to do some things, but physically, can he help you in the perimeter? You know, is he a wildcat, true running quarterback sometimes? And where we're at, we're still trying to get just some fundamental things clean. What I'm trying to do is not over-add. But we do have a package we carry each week for him. Unfortunately, some of these games have been a little close, and we haven't felt the quarterback's been the true issue of what's going on. But that being said, we haven't hey, throw him in the mix. We've again gotten in some field zone situations that, hey, game's too tight. You want to play this freshman quarterback. That being said, we're still going to keep pushing him. I don't think he's disappointed playing. We'll see as we go this week, weeks to come, how those guys keep playing. He's going to be a good player for us, so should be. They were good. Again, again, like I told myself, I don't know if you bargained and signed up for me, but here I am. Here's what we're doing. But bottom line, you're down to the end of your time. And, yeah, we're playing young players. That's nice. But, hey, what do you want out of this? I mean, you're going to be a Hoosier your whole life. You're playing for your family, yourselves, and your school, and you're going to be here forever. So how do you want to go out as a senior defensive player, senior offensive player? How do you want this Monday going into this game to be? There's still so much to play for. Apologize as coaches. We haven't done our job, gotten you the results you want. But what do you want these last 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 weeks, building ourselves a chance to try to be a bowl team? And what do you want each day to be so it can be as positive? We're going to work hard. Same time, I want this to be good for you. I'm not here pointing fingers at you, but you need to help us and rise forward. They were all very good. All had a couple good ideas. And bottom line, again, we're shaking up some subtle things in practice. We were doing things to get some juice and energy and enthusiasm as we go. And I'm really challenging those guys. I'd love to see those guys play as good as they can down the stretch. It's going to help us, and I know it's going to be good for them. And we'll see how it moves forward. Okay? No. Yeah, we just different things and timing, what we're doing, just subtle different things in drill, whatever. Just some things to create competition. Again, not out here going through the motion, not physically. We're working hard, but not physically trying to batter our team mentally. We're trying to lift the team up, get them in a positive state. Again, if we play our potential this week, we're going to be against a heck of a team. It's got tremendous tradition. We're going to be in a great game. We'll have an opportunity to play well. If we play like we're capable, and we're going to practice this week so we can get our team playing up to its capabilities. Okay. I guess. Well, they're awfully big, stout up front. We're talking about a run game. They're able to do it without loading the box. They're not that they play an umbrella soft deal, but they keep things in front of them. They rally to the ball, and it's not a bend but not break defense. They don't give up big plays. And because they're stout enough up front that they can play in sound passing spots where they are vulnerable for big, susceptible, wide open plays, they make you throw it on target, make you catch it, make it protect, because along the way they're playing great run defense. 249 yards a game, 12 points a game, 11, something like that, one of the best score defenses in the league. So they're playing. So we'll have our hands full. But at the same time, we're not going to score. We're not going to win games scoring 20 points like we've been doing. If we have one issue, it's the ability to, no matter what they're doing, get a defensive stop, making them kick field goals, and us quit kicking field goals and bogging down, getting touchdowns. And it'll be a huge challenge because they're going to have to defense. Okay? Beautiful.